My top 7 tips to sell with zero pressure. The chances are you found this video because you have something to sell, but also you don't want to have all the pressure that goes with selling that product or service. You are in the right place. What I'm about to share with you has helped not only hundreds of my clients around the world, it's also helped me in my own business to sell solutions for thousands and tens of thousands in terms of consulting. And the best thing of all, what I'm about to share with you, you can instantly use from today. So let me know at the end of the video which tip is the most useful for you, which one gives you the aha moment and helps you to break through. Because think about this for a moment. If you feel good and calm when you're selling your product or service, then also your client is going to feel calm too, because they pick up on our energy. Sales is a transfer of energy. We must remember that. So without any delay, let's get into it. Number 1. Define the goal with the client. Remember, the reason why the client needs you in the first place is because they're not clear on their goal. One of the missed opportunities that I see when it comes to selling is we get so caught up in selling our product. Do you want to buy this product, this service? We forget that we're there to help the individual. So what we want to do is slow down, ask deeper questions, get to understand what does this individual truly want. So instead of seeing it that you've got to convince them to buy, you are helping them to map out that goal and you're working with them together. I've done this many times consulting. Before consulting, I was a personal trainer. Most people, when they came to the gym, they knew they didn't want to be overweight anymore. They knew they wanted to feel better, but they had not defined exactly what they wanted. The more that you can create a movie in the mind of the client, the more they can visualize that and see it for themselves, the more likely they're going to want to buy. So number 1, define the goal with the client. Number 2, work as a team with the client. When we feel pressure, what we tend to do is we make it an us versus them scenario. I've got to convince them to buy. And the more that you try and convince, the more that you're going to feel uncomfortable. And because you feel uncomfortable, again, that is going to be transferred energetically to your client. Shift your perspective to saying, how can I help this individual? Am I the right person to even help them? Be willing to walk away if they're not the right person. You're not there to sell anything. What you're there to do is to help them define the goal and work as a team. So you're working together like any good relationship. Tip number 3, be upfront about your price and the way that you work with your clients. This is counterintuitive. Usually we're taught in sales that you need to build value and then present the price at the end. This is why sales becomes so difficult, because sitting down with clients psychologically, emotionally, you're going to feel like I'm going to do all this work, talk to them for 30 minutes, an hour, and then will they buy at the end or will they not when I throw out the price? Of course, everybody's going to see the value. You're great at what you do, right? Everybody's going to be going through that consultation or that sales meeting with you. What you want to do is be clear up front. Leave nothing on the table. Now, by the way, there is an important step here. You're not saying at the beginning of a consultation with the client, I will charge you X amount. What you're saying is that when clients work with me, I charge somewhere between X and Y, between $1,000 to $12,000 or $500 to $5,000. And each of those clients I work with somewhere between 3 to 12 months. But everything comes down to this conversation we're about to have today. Oh, you've already seen my prices on my website. Wonderful. Can you hear that language? It's calm, it's confident, and I'm being upfront about price. Yes, you do need to practice this, but I guarantee you start being open and upfront about the way you work, your expectations with clients, the range of how much you charge, life is going to be so much easier, and it's also going to remove the pressure. Tip number 4, be their calm in their chaos. The reason why they need you is because you've got your shit together in the specific area that you help your client. This doesn't mean you've got your whole life together, but your area, your expertise is about being calm. The world doesn't need more experts, the world needs more leaders. So what is your topic? How can you lead the client and stay calm? A lot of the time sales is taught incorrectly that you need to be excitable, you need to be energized, you need to go in with loads of passion, but unfortunately what we do through our passion is we end up making the sale about ourselves because we're so excited. Meanwhile, we're sitting with somebody and they're not really paying us to be excited, especially if they're paying thousands of dollars or pounds to work with you. They're paying because they look at you and go, actually, I trust this individual. It's not about know, like, and trust anymore. It's purely about trust. That's the only and overriding rule. Do I trust this individual that I can pay them X amount? They're going to be my guide on this journey and finally going to be able to solve this problem and create this transformation in my life. Tip number 5, gently challenge. You are not there to be a relationship builder. Most of the time when you ask somebody what makes a great salesperson, they'll say brilliant at forming relationships. It is your job already. That's the minimum requirement. to be good at building rapport and building a relationship. What the client actually wants is not to be told, high five, you're amazing. What they want is to be challenged on their status quo. So let's have an example right now on this video. In terms of the sales in your business, what is your strategy over the next 30 days? Can you talk me through that, please? Can you hear what I'm doing in that question? I'm gently challenging you to let me know where you're at right now. And I'm gonna add in a bonus tip here: never accept the first answer. So you'll turn around to me and say, well, Pete, I'm gonna work as hard as I can and I'm going to reach out to people on LinkedIn. Okay, great. Can you talk me specifically through the way that you're going to reach out to people on LinkedIn so I can get a better idea of your strategy? The idea here is not to catch your clients out, but is to get them thinking and to get them stopping and saying, I don't actually have a plan here. Okay, well, let's discuss this because fundamentally this is what we're here to talk about. So again, we'll go back to sales. In terms of your sales right now, over the last 6 months, would you say you've been predominantly proactive when it comes to selling? You know where your next sales are coming from, you've got a lead generation, marketing and sales process in place and everything works together? Or do you mostly feel reactive where you're just not really sure what to do and you're sitting down on a Wednesday afternoon going, I don't know how to make more money? Where are you at right now? Can you hear that language once again? Tip number 6, create aha moments and breakthroughs. The best buying signals are not when the client is nodding and saying yes, because we've all had that client that's going, yeah, this sounds great, amazing. And then you tell them the price and they say, I need to think about it. The best buying signals is when somebody stops because you make them think. The whole reason why somebody needs to think about it is number 1, because of course they may not trust you. But number 2, and this is the more common reason, we didn't take the opportunity to get them to think on a deeper level during their time with us. So there's a lot more that I can share around this, and I do in my other videos here on YouTube, and I definitely share this in my community. So if you're not part of my community yet, make sure you join my community. You can click below. But what you want to be doing is you want to be providing insights, you want to be asking questions, challenging the client, and specifically when it comes to questions, you want to ask them questions that they're not asking themselves. So for example, when I asked you earlier, what's your sales strategy over the next 30 days? That's probably a question that you've not asked yourself. So it makes you stop and you think. If we're only asking questions that our client is already asking themselves, then they have no reason to pay us, and that's why they need to think about it. You've built your expertise, right? You're doing the work, you're showing up every day. It's time for these conversations that you're having, whether you call it a sales meeting, a consultation, a discovery call, they've got to start converting. There's more to this, but this is the fundamentals. None of this is going to go out of fashion, and you can start using them all from today. Tip number 7, be clear on the next steps. The best analogy I can give here is like dating. When you go on a date with somebody and you like them and you want a second date, what you will do is you will confirm the next time you will see each other. What are you up to on Friday? Because you know that movie that we mentioned that's just come out? It's on at the cinema this Friday. So if you want to go, that'll be cool. From there, we're getting the next step. It's clear. Too many of us are unclear because we fall apart at the end of the consultation. We leave things open-ended. We say, yeah, get back to me when you're ready. Sure, have a think about it and then let me know later. I understand we want pressure off selling, but actually what you're doing is you're creating an immense amount of pressure for you the moment they leave the door. Because if there's no commitment in place, if there's no clear next step, then you're going to be left wondering and hoping that they're going to come back to you. And you know already 95% of the time, you will never hear back from that individual. You're not pressuring them to come back to you, but what you're doing is you're making sure you're following all of these steps here, enjoying chatting to them, because remember, it is just a conversation. And then from there, you're saying, hey, this has been a really good chat. Listening to you today, I'd love to work with you. The next step that I usually take here is to let you know specifically where I feel that I can help you, how long we're going to work together, and of course, the price. Should we go through that now? All right, that is my top 7 zero pressure sales tips. Let me know below which tip stood out for you, and whichever one gets the most comments, I will do an individual video on that one tip, because each of these I can share so much more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.